welcome back to our Stamp Staff podcast, episode 6. And today we're going to be talking about general administrative virtual assistants that can also be your personal virtual assistant. So let's get started.
The time it saves. So that's always my thing with any hiring somebody virtually, a staffing, whatever you want to call it, is buying your time. The general admin can go in and get your analytics, whether it's a video, whether it's a carousel, whether it's a post, an email.
They can have that conversation and emails back and forth. They're usually ones that can communicate well, written, what you're looking for, that they communicate well so that they don't know that they're necessarily from a different country. If you are a busy mom or a busy dad and you have a lot of personal things that need to be handled, they can be doing all of those things for you.
So are you going to go spend that time calling around to figure out in Celebration, Florida, which restaurant can take a party of 40?
Yeah.
And so that's just an example of things that they can do to help you save time.
Hey, welcome back to our Stamp Staff podcast, episode 6. And today we're going to be talking about general administrative virtual assistants that can also be your personal virtual assistant. So let's get started. What can a general administrative virtual assistant do for any business owner?
I mean, everything from email to paperwork to data entry, documents. They can do a little bit of customer service, maybe email marketing back to them, etc. I'm probably not on the phone because they're usually a very detailed person, and that would kind of not really work on the phone necessarily unless you kind of lean that way. But you can find some for it. Bookkeeping, so basic stuff. If you have an Airbnb, end of the year, you've got to turn the stuff in to your expenses, how much you paid for cleaning, how much you paid for electric, how much you paid for that. That's a big one where people should be using the virtual assistant because your accountant probably charging you $500 an hour. So if you can pay a virtual assistant to do that and then send it to them, just think of what you save because that's probably 6-7 hours of work. So just anything with that, reports, any reports that are happening. So what's happening? So we like to come in and we like to see, hey, if we're running a Facebook remarketing, how many ads how much have we spent? How many clicks did we get? You want to see that for them, and they gather that for us. So to do it, if we have a real estate industry and we're having showings, how many showings have we had and what was the feedback on it? They come back to us and said, hey, we've had 6 showings this week. 2 of them said they're going to submit offers. We haven't got the offers. Or if we've got offers, they organize the offers for us. So it's a large variety of what you can choose to use them for. But the time it saves, so that's always my thing with any hiring somebody virtually, a staffing, whatever you want to call it, is buying your time.
Yeah. And how much is your time worth? So a general administrative person is usually working with the manager or the owner of a company, and they can do so much for you. Like Mark said, light phones, usually they can absolutely do. And some can do more phones than others. But they can do so many other things. They can do your travel. Airbnbs and VRBO and other management of properties, absolutely. If you train them on that, they're usually more detailed people that can do that. You're running certain, getting back to inquiries on your Airbnb or questions, or working with contractors, working with cleaners, working with different people, let's say electricians and plumbers. They can actually put your list together, your phone list together. They can research things for you. So anything that you need researched in your business and you say, hey, can you go to Google or to YouTube and research whatever it is and put together a report for me of what you find out. They can do that. They should be the ones that are really reading and responding to your emails. And then what they can do is if it's something that is important that you personally respond to, they put it in different types of files. Okay. So they're going to put spam into spam files. They're going to put in things that you need to respond to within the day or maybe within the week. Then there's things that they can respond to. Any type of task coordination or, like Mark said, putting reports together.
So think about it. Like, let's say you're talking about, because this goes to any industry in, everybody has some type of social media.
Yeah.
So what, if you're doing social media, what did this post get in terms of interactions? What did this video get in terms of views, comments, saves, shares? What happens? Like, you want to look at that, at least I do anyway, because it's going to give me an idea of, oh, maybe I should do more of that. So if I'm looking for more views, I'm going to look for this. If I'm looking for more saves, I'm going to be looking, this is the content I need to put out more of. And then I can take it back to my team. Well, the general admin can go in and get your analytics, whether it's a video, whether it's a carousel, whether it's a post, an email. How was your open rate on the email? If you're in email marketing and you send out 1,000 and your open rate's 18%. Okay, is that good or bad compared to last week? Well, if you haven't tracked it, because I know you're probably not going to track it. So you would have an admin go in there, take that information and bring it back to you. And then from there, you can make decisions from it.
Yeah. They can help you with different things like for real estate. They can help you with your transaction coordination, calling or emailing, for example, a lender, getting information that a lender may need or a title company. They can have that conversation and emails back and forth. They're usually ones that can communicate well, written. Okay, is what you're looking for, that they communicate well so that they don't know that they're necessarily from a different country. And there are a lot of people out there and a lot of virtual assistants that are very good general administrative, but those people are not the same as getting on the phone in customer service or inside sales. That's not the same personality. From your data entry to your bookkeeping, to your travel arrangements, to your email management, to your analytic, research and development, to even if you don't have like a customer service and database entry type of person, they actually can be your database. They can help you with your database and making sure that people are following up and making sure that sales agents or whoever's supposed to input notes and things like that. If you don't have a customer service person, this person can do your data entry. So let's say you have an inside sales agent that is also doing some customer service. Usually that person is not going to be really good with the details. So this person that you could interact with your database management.
The general admin people are finding that it's more and more, and also with the cost. So the big thing is the cost. So for you to hire somebody locally, as you know, it's going to cost you more and more than what it did just 2 years ago. And then from there, you're going to pay employment tax. You're going to pay plus you have to have a space for them. So you're finding more and more people going overseas and doing it virtually to it, because literally they can do everything the same thing and maybe even a little bit better.
Yep.
The local administrative admin assistants are now becoming higher paid, and they're taking higher executive assistants now.
Yeah.
And so you're going to pay for that. And
they can make, doctor's appointments for you. And like I said, they can manage properties for you. They can manage people for you. If you are a busy mom or a busy dad and you have a lot of personal things that need to be handled, they can be doing all of those things for you. So the first thing that you want to do is you want to figure out what is the job responsibilities of this administrative person.
What can you give away? So what can you give away? So whatever the cost is, $9, $10, $11 an hour, why are you doing that?
Right.
In the beginning, you do it because you're not bringing any revenue, but now you're bringing in revenue. So you want to give away these tasks. You don't want to give away the high paying tasks. You want to give away the less expensive task that you can hire somebody to do. So
a lot of the time people they wake up in the morning, they look at their email and they let their email run their day. And that's what you don't want to do. So this person is saving you so much time because they're the ones that are, looking at your email and figuring out what is important.
I mean, we do everything. So a couple of years ago, we were at an event. We took your coaching members out, and we were in Celebration, Florida. And it was a group of probably 40. And our admin, virtually, like you'd be surprised how hard it is to find a restaurant that can seat 40 people in a party. And they just don't, on a Friday night. It was on a Friday night, so that's a little bit different. But there's just not a lot of restaurants built that way. So are you going to go spend that time calling around to figure out in Celebration, Florida, which restaurant can take a party of 40?
Yeah.
And so that's just an example of things that they can do to help you save time.
Well, an example, like if you are managing properties or you're doing Airbnbs or VRBOs and you need an electrician and you don't have one, they can call a lot of different companies to schedule appointments to see how much something's going to cost. Get quotes. Same with plumbing or anything. Let's say you need something hooked up like your internet or your TV or anything. They can do that.
Well, if you're running a rental property and short-term rental property, what are the questions? What's the Wi-Fi password? Like that, you get the same questions. How do I open the door? How do I lock the door?
Yeah.
Like questions it's just time consuming. They can go in there. Yeah. You press the red button. It's the picture of the lock to lock it. To Wi-Fi, it's 1, 2, 3, whatever. They can give that to you. So they can go in there and help you with that stuff as well.
And, booking reservations. So the first thing that you need to do is you need to figure out what can a general administrative do for you and what personal things and business things can they do so that you can focus on money producing activities, training, hiring, marketing, sales, whatever that is. Then you come up with a job description and you train them. And the best way to train a virtual assistant on stuff like this is actually recording yourself doing it. So if it's on a Zoom call or Loom or whatever it is, you record yourself doing it and then you build a training library for them. But a lot of people don't, when I talk to people that I coach, and I ask them, they spend so much time in their emails and responding to emails. It's an hour, 2 to 3 hours per day. And that to me is crazy when you can actually train somebody to do all of that for you. So what else do you think with this?
I think if you're busy, that's the first. You get a marketing assistant and then you get a general administrative assistant. And maybe you hire 2 part-time.
Yep.
Like you hire 2 part-time, 20 hours a week for each, and then they can support each other, and then you build from there. So marketing assistant first, second should be general administrative.
Yep.
I think they should be virtually.
Yeah.
I'm dead. I am 100% until you're making really good money before you hire somebody in.
I was just talking to one of my coaching members yesterday, and they actually do pretty well. Their commissions are, over $350,000 in real estate. And they only have one virtual assistant currently. And we were talking about what they needed to hire next. And it was a general administrative virtually, because if they get a in-house assistant, we figured out it's going to be about $50,000 to $60,000 per year.
Easy.
Okay. And that was really out of their budget for the profitability that they need to make to run as a business. And what we find today.
Well, think about what you just said. You just said they make $350,000, and let's say it's $50,000. That's over 15%.
Right. For one person.
15%. That's 15% off the top line.
Yeah.
So.
And when you're looking at employees, you're looking at usually to run a small business, all the employees should be about 12%.
Yeah.
Of your income, of your revenue should be 12%. So just this one person, if they hired an administrative in-house, is going to be more than that. So really think about What can you do virtually? What does a in-house person have to do? Do they have to be in-house? Is it better to pay $9 or $10 or $11 an hour as opposed to $20 or $25 an hour? So think about that, and you are going to be so surprised at how many things virtual assistants can do for you. And definitely think about a general administrative and personal assistant, and write down all the things that you're doing currently and that you really can train somebody else to do, and then look at hiring a general administrative virtual assistant. See you next time. Bye.